online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I'll scream it.
I'll scream it.
Into the canyon.
So much canyon.
At the moment.
Alison, you should do like, you were doing like an Elvis, it's like an Elvis impersonation of the song.
I don't even know the words. I'm just kind of like,
It's fine.
It works
I'm
good with it. It was great. I liked it.
sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are, of course, at The Affair After Show, and we are always excited and perplexed at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's like our thing going on.
That's our great thing.
Processing, always
Yeah,
processing.
So always.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Lem Gonsalves. So excited to be here. You can find me always on social media at The Poet Saint all day, every day. Miss Alison, same as the show. Where can they find you?
Not quite the same as the show, but you. But you
Spelled
can
the same.
not, yeah. The spelling is the same. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean.
Kellie Knezovich.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. That was a great,
Right?
great intro.
I think so.
Pretty good.
That's right. That's
Pretty
right.
good,
I'm
Lem.
digging it. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah.
Sunday nights turned up.
Turned up. Turned
Guys, Kellie Knezovich here. You guys can follow me on social media at Kellie Knez.
Sweet.
Alison Whisenhant.
Oh,
Did I say Alison? Oh, see, I blew it. I blew it. I'm so sorry. See, it's reflecting. I was like,
How many
I blew it.
Allisons are
I
here?
know so many Allisons.
Well,
I'm
my
sorry.
name is not
I'm
Alison,
sorry. I'm
but
sorry.
close enough. Hey guys, I'm April Whisenhant. Y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram at April Whisenhant. I'm also in the live chat right now, so be sure to click the link that I just tweeted and chat with us. We want to hear what you thought about the show, cause it was crazy.
'Cause it was crazy.
As usual.
Yeah.
As usual, but I think this particular episode was specifically
Oh, we found
crazy.
out a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of
There was a lot
information.
of, and I feel like just like in the last season, as it progresses towards the end, they start dropping bombs.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
boom, boom, like nothing. It's just crazy.
I don't have that song in my head.
The bombs are definitely
Yeah.
dropping.
dropping big time.
And I think that we also were very successful in some of our predictions from last week. I'll just say.
Yes, that was, I totally agree. And I want to get into that because what was the prediction that was the most, like what we got the best? What would you say?
Cole's baby.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
100%. I mean, we
I love
don't
that.
know. Just because we see Scotty later say that's our baby, we don't know until
Correct.
a blood test is done. But yeah,
Correct.
it's probably Cole's
I mean,
baby.
we said that, what, like 2 episodes ago?
No, it was last week.
It was last week,
Last
I
week.
thought.
Wasn't it last? It was last week.
It was last week, but then I think
No,
because
it was
at the
100%
end,
last
when it
week.
was, Lem, when it was you and me, we because they slept together. They kind of
Ah,
left it like,
that's
did they
right.
sleep
That's
together?
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
That's
we're
right.
like, oh, they for sure slept together. Oh my God, it's
Correct.
gonna be his baby.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
Okay, then I didn't see that. Well, I wasn't
Yeah.
here that week, so
Yeah.
okay.
but then yes, last week we're
I
like,
feel like
oh,
April
yeah.
and
talked about
I,
it.
we had the revelation last week together.
it's definitely it.
Yes,
We
yes.
turned, had a moment.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
All of
Anyway,
that. All of that.
sorry about that, everyone out there.
It's all to the good.
Yes.
Okay, so this particular episode, we start off with Alison and her version, and Noah Alison at a party. So this is mostly in regard, to Noah's book, The Descent, and it's a party kind of celebrating his book. A lot of people there, in that he's trying to impress. We get introduced to his assistant.
No,
who
his
is-
publicist.
Is it his publicist?
Yeah, it's his publicist.
Okay.
Hot.
And-
Publicist.
She's hot and
fine.
annoying.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Just terrible.
I hate her.
Yes.
You
Oh,
like
good.
the publicist?
I mean, I think she's very attractive.
She's a
but-
Publicist, though.
Exactly,
She has
she's
that,
a
like,
publicist. She
come
has
on,
to, like,
no,
be on her
no, no,
phone.
no, no.
But I think she's also like too much. Like I
Too
understand
much.
she's his publicist. She
Right.
cares about his affairs. She's holding it down for him in this regard. But she doesn't have to have the
I think
attitude
she's
she
asserting
has.
herself too much into him and his life.
Thank you. That's what I'm
that?
saying. Right. Well,
He needs to flee Eden.
it's
Yes, very true.
Her name should be Eve. No, I mean really, but I mean I think when we saw him, you know, we'll get into it in a minute, but when we went at the Thanksgiving dinner and how she was acting there, that's where I feel like she was stepping out of bounds.
Disrespectful,
At the party, and then even at the party when we are introduced to her and you have Alison who's, you know, having this conversation with him and trying to get things situated for dinner and all these kind of things that she cares about, and this is her man, you know, what we believe to be the future father of her baby.
Right.
But she's basically like, no, this we have to do this. Oh, we got to fly this. Oh, we have to do all of this, and just not concerned
At
with
all.
It's also
the
very
affairs of the
unfortunate
family.
that the party took place on Thanksgiving.
That's
Terrible.
true,
Because
too.
had that not
Who does
happened,
that?
let's be real,
Right.
none of that, the whole flying situation, we have to
True.
be out of here by 9, or are you okay flying coach?
Business
yeah,
instead of first class.
Instead of first class, like, all of that wouldn't have been an issue had it not been Thanksgiving. And
True.
she asked him to bring home the turkey, which,
Right.
let's be honest, who actually thought he was going to bring home the turkey?
I did not.
No, at the second she's like, bring home
I
the turkey, he's like,
didn't
okay,
think so
we're like,
either.
yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's what you get for
Right.
buying a turkey, though. Are you kidding me? You cook a turkey.
On the day of
No
Thanksgiving.
matter how rich
Like,
you are, you cook
Yeah.
a turkey.
Buying a turkey.
I actually was going to buy a turkey
Yeah.
this year, guys. Yeah.
But not on the day of Thanksgiving?
Oh, Allison. See, y'all are more like
Yeah.
that.
You're terrible.
Good job,
I
April
did.
Whisenhant. Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. So anyway, we're seeing them at this party. We do see that at this point that Alison is pregnant.
Right.
So I mean,
She's
and
preggers.
pregnant,
Very
and then
pregnant.
very showing.
Yeah.
Very much showing because she had already declared that she was pregnant, but she's now pregnant for the world to see. And we are introduced to this lady by the name of Cynthia, who starts asking a lot of questions about knowing Alison to Alison, and we find out later she's a gossip columnist.
Did Alison say to Cynthia, no, I haven't read the book?
She
Because I know she said it a couple times. I know she said it to Athena.
She
I
did.
did not
She
read the
did.
book. To someone else,
I think she said it to her.
I think she
too.
did, and I think she said she read parts of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think she said,
She
yes.
said she read parts of it, and she's like, oh, and then she starts asking these other personal questions. And I feel like Alison, you know, her character, sometimes, you guys may disagree with me, but sometimes she doesn't think things through. And sometimes she can be a little dingy, for lack of a better word.
I think she's just not used to this whole scene. I think she
Yeah.
doesn't know any better.
But also, I think there's common sense that kind of tells you, like, if somebody's asking these personal, regardless of the nature of it, like, wouldn't you kind of be like, get a little personal there?
Right.
You know what, though? I also, when I was, like, thinking about all this, here's this very calculated publicist, Eden, I'm talking about.
Right.
If there's someone like that who's been hired to, you know, to be a part of the descent and the publicity tour, then you should have someone else standing with the wife the whole, or the fiance the whole time
True.
to ensure that these types of episodes don't happen.
Yeah.
So fail on Eden's part when she like cornered Alison, was like, you need to not talk to anybody here.
Right.
It's like, no, you just needed to have someone else work in the night or morning or whatever time of day it was with her,
Sure.
so that wouldn't have happened.
And she knows exactly who she was, so if she did, you know, she should have been on the lookout for someone like her to be asking those type of questions.
I was
Right.
like, fired, Eden.
But
fired.
do you think, however, and again, I could be just speculating, but when we get to the dinner scene, and how, you know, the print comes out and she's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's out now and the whole story and everything that was talked about, but she's like, oh, but we're going to be able to spin this and it's going to be even better and it's going to be a different situation. And even, I'm getting way off, but even in the previews, we see that other things are happening and now he becomes this bad boy from some things that are happening and she's liking that.
All publicity is good publicity,
Yeah.
so
Right.
they say.
So I'm
because
wondering-
She didn't say the worst things in the entire world. Like, these are
Right.
things that if people just did a little research,
Sure.
then
They'd
they
be
would
able to
know.
figure it out.
But it's
So
something
at
you
this
could
point,
spin.
right? At this point, anyway, it's like, oh, they're talking about you. People care enough to share this story 300 times and to have 150 comments. But clearly, I think, and it's good. It's definitely good that people are talking about his book, but it's the context of like, oh, Noah's gonna have to put himself into this as much as possible, and some of it really is fiction, and then the parts of it that aren't,
Right.
like Cole wasn't an abusive husband. He never hit her,
Yeah,
but
I was
like,
shocked about
you know, I don't know. So it's kind of like I would be extremely offended and like, no, you can't do that if I was Alison. Too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm with you. I just think it's not okay, especially when you're Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad she spoke up, though. Granted.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I think people might say, no, I think that conversation should have been in private. You should have
Sure.
taken him out to, a different room and discussed it. But she was heated. Allison was.
She was mad.
There was no stopping her.
No,
and even Max
absolutely.
is like, guys, I think we have a difference in
Right.
opinions
Right.
here.
Right.
She's like, nope. We are going to continue this conversation right here. We're going to have it here at the dinner table.
I think it was important for Eden to hear that conversation, though, too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to stop Eden from
Yeah,
No, I don't either. I don't either.
Because the way she seems like she's just gonna do what she wants.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
Especially
She's
from
gonna
that
do what she
preview.
wants.
She's-
Sure.
She's going to use it as a
little
wedge.
devil.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's
exactly.
going to be like, oh, your wife doesn't feel this way and
Right.
she wants you to do this.
Look how she is, and
she's got...
she views her as weak. She
That's
views her as
terrible.
all these kind of
Well,
things.
maybe she also has read the book and been like, okay, so this is real life. So he
Right.
is easily, I don't want to say whipped or like wrapped around someone's finger, but I think that she might have the idea of, oh, I can easily
Right.
take him.
He can be seduced.
He can be seduced
Right.
very easily
It reminds me
because
of-
Allison's not that great. Or so, she
Correct.
might be able to make herself seem better
Sure.
than Allison.
Sure.
Ooh.
It reminds me of a comedian. I definitely cannot say this on TV, but he says the thing like, you put the on a pedestal.
Oh,
he
yeah.
puts the
Oh yes.
woman
Yes, yes,
on
yes.
because he does. He's very, which I mean, she's clearly a sexual person as well, but
Right.
that is kind of what like rules his mind sometimes.
Sure.
So
Well, she
Eden's
understands
gonna
that from
use
the
that.
book,
Sure.
Right.
I thought it was
Absolutely.
interesting at that dinner, though. That was one of the first times where in real time we were getting the juxtaposition of the differences of opinion on how things
loved
happen.
it. I loved it.
So like I thought
great
that
point.
that was like the first time we really had the no, it didn't happen that way. It happened
Right.
this way.
Right.
Right.
And it's like, well, how did it happen?
Right.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, because it was never discussed. It was just
Right.
it was a taboo subject. I mean, and is mostly on Allison's point of view because in her mind she was like, I don't want to. First, she was forbidden. She's like, I'm
Yeah.
not reading this book. I don't want to. He didn't want her to read it. Then all of a sudden it comes out, and then she's like, I still don't kind of want to read it. She reads portion of it, that we saw
But
in
she
a couple
really read all
episodes
of
of her.
it.
But she really read all of it eventually. Bottom line is now she sees herself as he portrays her,
Right.
and she's not happy about that.
Right.
Come
At
on,
all.
yeah,
At all.
absolutely.
And it blows up during dinner time. What do you guys think about their place? Their place is pretty fat.
It's beautiful.
The
She's
place is
wearing
fat.
Manolos.
Right.
They have this insane apartment
Yes.
in Brooklyn or wherever
Yes.
it is. I mean, like, that's a pretty penny. I was surprised that Athena, because Athena's back, of
Right,
course,
right.
and I was
staying for
surprised.
who knows how long.
Yeah.
Our
I was
bags.
surprised that she was shocked that Allison was helping pay for it because she seems like the type of person that's like, oh, everything's equal and
Right.
blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I was kind of shocked that Allison was helping pay for it as well, since they have this huge apartment to fit his
Kids.
4 children
Right.
and everything. But, no, their apartment was insane, and the suede couch
It was
beautiful.
dope. It was dope, and I think that came out. That whole scene came out, with them, their dialogue, because Allison kind of put her in her place and said, "Look, you always feel like you're a freeloader in the sense, and so you wouldn't want to be paying anything because you think everything should be done or handed to you." And then they started this whole dialogue about her house, that was bestowed to her by her grandmother, and she's like, "Oh no, I can't believe you're selling that house." And it's like, "Well, Grandma gave it to me. I can do what I want." And then we find out that Athena actually was the one that asked the grandmother to give it to her because there was nothing she could give her as a mother.
She did one good thing
One
for
good
her
thing.
daughter. Good job, Athena.
So that one thing she wants to hold on to, and it's like, no, don't sell the house, because she thinks like, if you sell the house, then I don't have anything that I have attachment to you.
Right.
That's how I viewed it.
And I kind of agree with Athena in the sense of, I mean, it's kind of tough for her to say, if this doesn't work out, then you have a place for you and your baby to go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because this isn't an easy situation. Like they have.
Well, they're
a
still not divorced yet, according
Right.
to what she told
Neither of
Cynthia.
them.
Exactly.
Neither of them are.
Right.
And they clearly
Right.
have they're building a real life together. They
Right.
have an insane connection and love,
Right.
but look at the situation. That's not guaranteed that they're gonna last. So I kind of agree with Athena in the sense of oh, you probably should have held on to that, but it's too late. Allison says
Right.
the house is in escrow, so
But do
think
you
she
think
wants-
she has? Do you think she has the best intentions though? Like, is her motive pure?
I think they're. It's a little iffy. I think
Yeah.
she kind of wants to get rid of everything in Montauk. I think she wants to get rid of her life,
Right.
and start a brand new one. She is starting a brand new one, a brand new child.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if it's gonna work out.
well, and why keep it there? Cole's shacking up in her house, so
She doesn't know that though, right?
well, no, she doesn't know
She
that.
doesn't
but
know.
at the same time, I mean, she knows he's living there,
Yeah.
and I guess it's is she really going to keep it for him to live in? Eventually
Right.
she would just have to kick him out, and then she would feel bad because she's the one who cheated on him, and then she's kicking him out for nothing. So I don't know. I think I just changed my opinion in that sentence. So I don't know.
Interesting. So we also see as the guests are arriving, the first guest that comes is Jane, which is her friend and ex-coworker back in Montauk at the Lobster Roll. She comes. I was like, Jane, I think she's super pretty. Thought she was fun. I was like, I'd like to see her back. Shout out to Jane. Thought she was good. She was talking about, what was going on. They were kind of catching up. What I thought was also interesting is that Max also comes over, which I really thought that was going to go left because I thought something was going to come up with him and,
and Helen?
Yeah, their situation. I thought it didn't. And maybe it could be, they're saving that for later or what have you, which we wouldn't put it past these writers.
That's
but
true.
I thought that was interesting that he shows up. And then, of course, him and Jane are kind of,
Quickly, they started liking.
We know Jane's intentions.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And Max's
absolutely.
intentions,
I was gonna
too.
say,
Very true.
Max Playboy. So,
Yeah.
of course, pretty girl. Of course, they're going to hit it off and whatever that situation. And then that kind of leads
She was
us
probably
over
drinking
to
some
it.
Moscato, right?
Yes, probably a
Oh,
lot of
that's
Moscato.
Moscato.
Maybe so.
Moscato.
After the martini, it was Moscato all the way.
Moscato,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Yes.
So as things progress, Max finally shows up. He's late, and he comes into the kind of this bonding.
Max.
Not Max. I'm sorry.
Noah.
Noah comes in
With
late. Thank
Eden.
you.
I was so angry at that. I was like,
Get
no.
out.
I really can't stand that girl. I really can't. And
So we
with
go
you.
from Margaret to Eden.
Yeah, I know. These villains are crazy, and then we just got them.
True
They're
that.
everywhere. Oscar to everybody. I mean, villains everywhere.
Oscar.
I can't wait to get into that.
I know.
So they come in, which is actually a nice bonding session that they're having, where they're listening to the baby, and then he comes in, and then he has this moment. I wanted to kind of ask you guys because he has something like, "Do you want to listen to the baby?" So he starts listening to the baby, and then he says something like, "It always gets me every time."
It didn't get him.
Yeah.
It didn't. It was all BS.
So I was just gonna say, what did you get from that?
I got that it was BS, and he was just saying that to appease her.
And I think
Really?
that Alison picked up on that.
I think
Really?
yeah, because she knows him enough now, and she can kind of like see into his soul, I think, on some level. So when he said it, she gave that look of like, I'm seeing into your soul, and I know that you're lying to my face right now.
Yeah.
That's what I got
And
from
you
that
would
whole
think
thing.
that, if he shared that moment with her, I feel like he'd be like, wow, like, look into her eyes. Alison, I'm just looking at you. Like, look into her eyes and say, wow, it gets me every time. And then go in for the kiss or
Right.
something.
Right.
Not just like, gets me every time. Okay, peace out. Like, no.
Right. Shifty eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
I think of it in the sense of like, it's been a crazy day for him. It's,
That's true.
a big whatever day. And his publicist is there. It is a moment where he should probably share it with just Alison.
Right.
But I'm thinking like, okay, so Noah is obviously, he's a great dad. He loves his kids. So I'm like, why would he not be the same way over this? Even though this is kind of the reason why he rewrote or ended up rewriting
Right.
his book to re-killing Alison, because it's completely gonna change every single thing. But at the same time, so I don't know, I go back and forth in the sense of like, it's kind of, there are people around, it's
Right.
not gonna be the best time for him to be, because it seemed like that was the first time that he was hearing it.
Right.
So I don't know, it's kind of a
He had to,
weird
like, maybe
situation,
put up
I
a
guess.
front or
Well,
something.
and he looked, and I think he was it kind of caught him off guard because
was distracted.
He was very
Yeah.
distracted.
Yeah.
He comes in late with Eden, and then comes in, and then I don't think he has the best relationship with her mom. She's there, and so
And then he
they're
just got
having
yelled at for not bringing
And
the
he has
turkey
this one. It's
home.
like, oh, come, and it wasn't Allison's idea. It was
Athena's.
Athena's idea for him. Like, oh, come listen to your baby. He's like, and of course, not to even make it even worse. He's like, okay, I'll do that. So everything is just
But
awkward.
don't lie about it, is all.
Right.
But then what do you say though?
You can't just be like,
you say, I'm really distracted right now and I apologize. Like, let's do this later. I really want to, I want to
then
sit with you and do this with you
Right.
together.
but then he's
There's
the
ways
jerk
to
who's
spin
like,
it.
let's do it later.
He's one with the publicist all day. He knows how to spin
Right.
things now. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Don't lie.
I think either way, it was gonna be a
Known
bad
for
situation.
lying,
It,
though.
it was going to be a bad situation, but we all know, and we know Noah's character very well now, that that's his MO. That's what he does.
I
He
gotta
hides
say,
things.
I'm starting. It's weird because I've been so Team Noah for so long. I've been so Team Noah,
shit.
and legit, I love that man. And now I'm starting to be like, what is happening to Noah, and why am I feeling differently? Why are the feelings? The tide is turning, and I don't know how to process these things.
I am on the exact same page as
Really?
you. Because
And I'm looking
tonight-
at Cole going, Cole, you look so dreamy.
Right?
Cole, what is happening,
That's
Cole?
weird.
gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, Cole, what? Seriously.
It is crazy. I swear on my life. While we were watching, I'm like, what's happening?
Yes!
The YouTubers will love this because
Yes.
they're always like, why are they on
Right.
Team Noah?
Right.
And tonight, I'm like, he's kind of like too hard and just too like business, and this is what's going on. And we see
Right.
them have like a little moment at the end. But the reason why I like him is because I felt like he was doing all of this stuff with Alison because that was like his true love. Obviously, it's not in the best situation where he had to cheat on his wife and
Right.
whatever, but that's the reason I felt like it was genuine. And now to see him just kind of like, okay, this is what I'm about, like the hustle and bustle, it's taking the like romantic part away from me. So I'm just like, okay, don't be a jerk. And that's what's coming through my mind for him right now.
I want to go back to just the last episode really quick, and I think that, you know, what you all were speaking of as far as the changing of the tide, I feel like that last episode, in my opinion,
Yes.
is what changed the tide for Noah.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because remember when Athena was doing the whole procedure with the Reiki and all that kind of stuff that was going on, and she told him, she said, you want Alison's dark side.
Right.
And so, and that's what drew him was the dark side, which if you think about the book, which keeps coming up, the name of the book is Descent. Hello. You know, that tells you that right there. And then how he viewed Alison in the book, fiction or nonfiction or whatever, he viewed her in that dark light.
The darkness.
And
The temptress.
Thank you. And so now that that's not, everything is coming real. Now it's not a darkness anymore. He has his child that is coming to this world. They're now, it's like, okay, we have a living in together. This is a house. These are all these things.
Yeah.
Now it's real. Now everything is pushing towards a different variety. And I think that's why he's being lost. And that's why he's changing his tune.
I think he's also distracted by everything going on. I mean, the success of this book,
Well,
and just, it's like a tornado of energy and
I think that Alison has to like get on board with that, not with him being kind of like distant. That's what I think is the problem. He seems very distant from her,
Well, because
except in that
she
last
doesn't
moment.
like the book.
Right.
Well,
I mean, she
clearly,
doesn't
yeah.
want to admit that you know, that the, I mean, I don't really think she thinks she's the character of the book, but she is the character in the book.
Right. But to his version though, because remember we always saw her, you know, in her part it was very him being the you know, but ultimately she still said yes. So
the way that the book is written is from his version.
Right. Which is going to not always put her in the best light.
Right. And I don't think she
course.
wants, I think she wants to be in denial about the book. I
Sure.
don't think she wants to admit that the book even exists. And so the fact that it's like, oh, the baby, the room. I mean, as we saw in the preview, it was like, oh, look, I changed your workroom to the nursery. And he's like, what happened to my desk?
In the
you know?
future episode. Right.
In the future episode. So, I mean, she's very focused on the baby, as she should be.
Right.
And he's very focused on the book, and she's kind of like, I don't want to really support the book because it doesn't put me in the best light.
right.
So,
But it's their life. Like she has to, and it's tough, obviously. But if she wants to keep their relationship together, he needs to kind of like give a little, not give a little, but be more attentive, I guess, because they both seemed so distant from everything that was happening the entire time. I feel like.
they have two different focuses.
Right.
Yeah.
And she even asked them, another point to bring up is that she even asked them towards the end of that conversation, she says, do you still want this baby? Do you want this baby?
I mean, what is he going to say? He's not going to say, no, I don't.
But I'm saying, like, for
seems like
her,
he doesn't
but
right
for
now.
her to even
exactly
say
why she asked
that,
it, though.
that just shows where she is with
mentally.
everything.
She feels like she's being rejected.
At the same time, though, she could have been pulling like the girl card and been like, do you want this baby? So that he could be like, yes, babe, I love you. I'm going to shower you with love, because that's what she wants. That's what she needs. She wants the attention. She's not getting any attention.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
And she might have asked that question, genuinely asking, do you want this child? But also like, give me love.
Right.
Show me you love me. And
But she's pregnant. She deserves it. He should be
absolutely.
like.
I'm not bashing that by any
And when
means.
you're pregnant,
yeah.
you're hormonal and all these things are going on. I just think that it's just telling of leading up, because we know at some point in time in the future, they don't end up together. And everything is, to me, is
Wait, what?
pushing
Wait,
us.
I'm sorry. Wait, what?
Okay, I'm talking about, we had this discussion before.
But I still didn't see it.
Okay. Let's go. We'll
Tell me
talk
again.
about it. We'll talk about our predictions.
Okay.
But it's been shown to us in future episodes that they are not together. And so what I'm saying, it was okay. We'll
Just
go
tell
back.
me.
Yeah, we have to go
Tell me
now
quick.
because I'm lost too. I'm with April on this one.
Okay, so back in a previous episode, what we've seen in one of the how can I say
The
one
future-
of one
the
of the
future-
right? It appears, and maybe it's just because it's implied. It could have been implication, but that they were not together anymore at that particular
when said
time.
this?
This was oh gosh, I got in trouble.
I really don't remember.
Okay, maybe
remember
we should
this
bring it. We should bring it to maybe the fans and people in the chat.
Okay, tell us
But
in
it-
chat if y'all know what he's talking about.
Yeah, because I'm, But it appeared that it showed them not together at some point in time, and this was back early on in the beginning of the first season
Do you remember this?
when they were.
I
being
remember him
interviewed.
talking about it, but I never
This is
remember.
in the first season, not this season.
first season?
In the first season.
I
So,
totally
okay,
don't
so
remember
you're
that
saying
then.
that Noah was being interviewed and Noah was the one that was like, we aren't together
It
anymore.
appeared that
type
they
of
were
thing?
not together.
It
don't remember
appeared.
that.
Yeah, it appeared that they were not
Appearances
together.
in the show.
That's true. There's a lot of implications, but
Yeah.
it appeared that they were not together. So I'll
Albert
just put it
Patterson
like that.
in chat says not true.
Not true. Okay. I
But
could
we'll
be.
see. I'm
I could be
asking them,
tripping.
though.
I could be tripping.
You could be tripping, Lem.
I could be tripping. Bottom line is, I think that there's been trouble in paradise for some time.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, all of the previews that we've seen where they're talking to the lawyer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
there's nothing that says my husband or we are together or something, right? Like
Right.
I don't remember seeing a ring or anything like that. So maybe
Yeah.
we are all thinking that they are together, but
and she still goes by the name Alison Bailey
Right.
in the
she-
first season.
Yes.
But she went by Alison Bailey whenever her and
Cole.
She and Cole were still together.
Mm-hmm.
So that
it
doesn't
doesn't mean a
necessarily
whole
mean
lot,
anything.
but
right.
And again, like I said, it just be my spidey sense. But when the way it was portrayed, and we see a lot of this with the writers, which are brilliant. The way it was portrayed is there was implication. I'm just rolling with it because
Okay.
maybe that's what I'm foreseeing. But we can talk about it more in predictions.
I'm rewatching the first season right now, BT Dub. So we'll see if I remember that.
Got it. So let's jump to the end of Alison's version. We go into what we always has been happening the last few episodes, where it goes into present day.
Oh,
what
yes.
we believe to be present day. And Alison is talking to the attorney about Noah's case. He's
And she
interviewing
wouldn't be
her.
in that room if they weren't still married, by the way. Because
that point.
she
At
spoke
that point.
At that point, right? Exactly.
At that point.
Yes.
At that point. So, and he basically tells her that she might have to testify.
Yes.
And that's basically it. That's all we get. So, I like it's great, and then it sucks at the same time, because when they do that, it gives us a little bit of information, but not enough to like really know what's going on.
Right.
So it makes us continue to like, well, what is going to happen?
luckily
She
we
lied.
got a lot at the end.
Right. We
She
did.
lies,
we did.
but we don't know that until the very end.
Correct.
Though. But of course, she has no idea that that's on camera, so she's not going to offer up. She tells the lawyer that her and Scotty were fine
Right.
before.
Right.
But of course, she's not going to offer that information that she didn't know anyone had.
Right.
But then we have Oscar for the
Oh,
win.
shit. Well, let's get it. We gotta save it. Okay, so let's get into Cole's version, which I thought was very, very telling. This particular episode. It starts off with he's going at it with his girl Luisa, and she tells him in Spanish, it's very, very subtle, that she loves him, and he says, "Wait, what'd you say?" And
Freaks out. He freaks out,
He
pretty
freaks out.
much.
I literally have, and he freaks.
Yeah.
Yep.
According to her,
Accurate.
according to her words, he lost his erection after that happened, and basically
And went to go
changed
get
his survey.
muffins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Isn't that what always happens?
That's what happens. So it just threw him off. And she also tells him that she wants him to visit with her and her family, because again, this is also Thanksgiving in
Still
his version.
Thanksgiving, yep.
So
Right.
it's same time frame in Queens, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm going to see my own family and see my mom."
A liar.
And she
Not
confronts
totally
him.
a lie.
Right. Well,
It ended up not totally being a lie.
at the time, it was a lie because he wasn't going
wasn't
to go.
planning on it, yeah.
Wasn't planning on going. She talks to him about what happened in the bedroom, and of course he, throws it off, leaves it for months. Right, I'm so hungry.
I'm so hungry.
You want a muffin? Because I want a muffin. Like if I'm starving, I want food. So
I don't remember him leaving his money clip.
They didn't make anything of it.
yeah,
I remember him
well,
grabbing some
yeah.
cash or something like that.
But he said, he tells her when he does the apology later on that all of this was made up to push her away. So he was accusing her
It's
because
fear.
it was fear. He was afraid of what was going to, because they were getting so close.
Yeah.
She tells him she loves him. He doesn't want to acknowledge it. He wants to throw it away.
Surprised that she was there when he came back.
I was too. I would have left.
Yeah. I mean, obviously she
But
loves him.
she still loves him, so she's
holding on to
Yeah,
it.
and she can see that he's a very trapped soul. So she's
and very guarded. Very guarded.
Yeah,
Which,
true.
to some degree, I mean, everything that's happened with him between Alison, being his wife, and then what's happened in his family with his, all of that's gone on, I would feel very guarded too.
Sure, absolutely.
But at the same time, he also cares very deeply for this woman.
Yeah.
So you can't just deny her and treat her like you don't care about her.
Right.
So he ends up when he goes to get the muffins, he ends up running to one of my favorite characters, Scotty, in the store. He's calling him and he puts it on. He denies the call.
Good.
And then he's like, I'm right behind you,
right
dude.
behind
Yeah.
you.
cold.
And
That's always my fear. Like, before I ignore anyone's call, I'm like, look around. And I'm like, okay, never mind, we're good. Like, my mom's in Alabama, and she calls me, and I'm like, oh.
She here. So he shows up, and then we find out that he was lying to her at this point because he says that he's not going to be with the family for Thanksgiving.
Right.
But his word is his bond, so
That's true. He tells her later. Right. And then all of a sudden, another favorite character of ours, Oscar.
Oscar!
shows
Since
up.
when is Oscar a favorite character of ours, Lem?
he's a stir of the
We have
shite.
hated him all
But
last
I mean,
season.
Like,
what
he's
I
like
mean-
such a prominent character.
That's what I
though.
mean. Like, we don't like him. Oscar's a jerk.
Oh,
okay.
he's
a
beyond
jerk.
that.
But
yes.
literally tonight, I was like, Oscar, do
Yeah.
I love you or
Yeah.
something? I don't know. I like him as a character
What?
now.
He looked
no,
good
not
tonight.
Like, oh, he did.
He looked very
a little
like.
better.
Yeah, he had it together. He looked like he had lost been in the gym.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah,
got a
his
shave.
baby got
Yeah.
Okay, so we are all on the same
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
We are not all on the same page. We are not all on the same
When
page.
I say favorite character, I'm just saying you can love to hate someone, and
No,
I think
I know. I
that's
was just
been
messing
what
with
I
you.
mean.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. I can be with you on
You
that.
on that?
Yes.
That's what
sure.
I mean. We don't like Oscar.
But in
We
terms
love
of
to
him
hate
looking
him.
good and all that,
Yeah.
not on
I
that
mean,
page.
not into that, but I'm just saying, like, he looked cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
But tonight, I started to like Oscar
Did you
a
really?
little bit.
Oh.
I like
not
the
like-
information he
Yeah.
has. I want to know more about that.
Right.
I started to like his character a
Right.
bit more because last season I was
Yeah,
He
I
was
know he was
always
like-
like
he was a
causing drama.
total douche last season.
but this
He's still a
season
douche.
Well, true.
he is, but
But
it seems
for-
to be like a little more behind it.
Yeah, and then
Like,
I
he has
think
reason.
the reason for his doucheosity.
Oh, because of the
is
brothers and everything that happens.
Exactly. So I think we like that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
He actually tells them both about the book. Hey, you guys read the book? And they're like, no.
We're famous!
And he's
Yeah.
like, we're all over it. You guys, your whole family. And so
Quoted me on the
like,
sword.
right. So the brothers are like, oh gosh, so that comes up. And then Cole comes home, and that's when he starts, accuses Louisa, who's still there, who was waiting for him, about stealing the money clip. And then at that point, she was done.
Yep.
Because
Adieu. Sayonara.
I'm out of here.
Yeah,
You can't
adios.
just do that. And of course, he did that
Muchachos.
purposely to drive her away. And then he starts reading the book.
He goes out to
yeah.
buy
Right.
the book. Yeah.
Starts reading the book. Then we see him with his family, so he does decide to show up
Yeah.
with
Yep.
the family,
So
which
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did we know
Sure.
that he wasn't speaking to his mom at this point, or that's something?
Well, she said because he was like, "Oh, I'm going to go to my mom's for Thanksgiving." She's like, "Oh, you're on speaking terms with
And
her?"
we didn't know
Right.
that they weren't on speaking
We
terms.
kind of
exactly.
did because of conversations that he had with
Scotty on the boat?
And Scotty was
Okay.
like, "Mom really wants to see you."
Right.
You're right,
Da-da-da-da.
right.
Yeah.
it was
Market.
implied. It was
Okay.
implied.
It was implied, yeah.
Sure.
Got it.
It was implied. And then, of course, Louisa brings it up again. So he does go over there, and he's with the family, and then they start talking about the book during
Yes,
their
they
little
do.
toast that they're doing, which, I don't know, it looked like what they were drinking out of.
Moonshine. A
Yeah.
moonshine cap.
They
I
were-
think it was the cap.
It was a cap. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Y'all
I
ever
don't
had
know.
moonshine?
Gotcha. No.
I have been terrified to try.
That's a
Have
southern
you tried?
thing,
I'm
right?
sure you.
Is it a
have.
southern
Why do
thing?
I've had blueberry moonshine, and it was actually delicious. So don't knock it
Blueberry
till you try it.
moonshine. Okay.
Oh, I would try it.
I mean,
Yeah.
like your insides light on
Burn.
fire
I
as
was
soon as you drink it.
It's like burning,
They
burning.
said lighter fluid. Yeah, they did
Yeah, I
mention
feel like
lighter
it's
fluid, so I can
Blueberry
imagine.
lighter fluid.
Blueberry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we can take the blueberry lighter fluid.
There you go.
Absolutely. And so during the toast, we get some really, really interesting information.
Factoids.
Yes, that
Yes.
Cole is talking about all these things that he believes are lies about their family history and the feud that they have going on.
Because it was all in the book.
Exactly. And then we find out Cherry says, no, this is the truth.
Well, first, Cherry and Scotty are like giving each other these like eyeballs. They're screw facing one another
Maybe
about
it
like the
was
facts.
the position I was watching the show in or something. I did not see that at all.
I
didn't
did
either.
Oh, I
okay.
did.
'Cause he was
Because
like,
she
"What
kept
are you-"
looking. She kept like looking straight at Scotty because
Oh,
Scotty
sorry.
was across the table.
Right.
Okay.
And
Oh,
so,
I
and then
just
Cole
didn't see that.
said,
Yeah,
Why
what's
are you
going
guys
on?
What's
Why are you
going
guys
on?
looking at each
Yeah.
other?
I didn't think that it was going to be about
That?
like something like that. I thought that it was going to be like, oh, we've read the book, and I literally thought Cherry was about to say we are where he got all of this information from because
I thought
like, they
so too.
needed money or
Yes,
something.
yes.
That's what I thought.
When she said that, I thought he was like, "Oh yeah, he came and talked to us."
I didn't think that at all.
So how did he get that information?
Yeah.
From Oscar.
He found it. He got the information.
Well,
From
he was,
Oscar? From
he was
who,
sitting
though?
with Oscar. Remember, like
Right.
there were times, and whether or not
They,
it was
like, went to
one
the
time
bar.
or many times, but there was information that was exchanged between Noah and Oscar in the first season. They
Right.
only showed us one real exchange with them
Right.
sitting next to each other, but that doesn't mean that that was the only one that happened.
And it would make sense that Oscar would relay that information.
Absolutely.
Because it dispels what the Lockharts thought to be as truth.
Yep.
Right.
So that makes total sense
Yep.
why that came up. So yeah, she basically talks about that and basically says that the family is cursed. And that's why all of the babies since them have died.
Oh,
and
my
that
Cherry,
they were,
don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't go
and
there.
that there will never be another Soloway. So
Another
another
Lockhart.
Excuse me. Another Lockhart. So
There might not be another Soloway either. I don't know.
True.
we don't even know if it's a Soloway at all. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, what did you guys think when you heard that? Did anybody think that was coming as far as that she was going to go that deep into? Because to me, even if I thought she was going to talk a little bit about it, but I didn't think she was going to spill all of the beans, maybe give a couple of pintos, but not all of them, because she's known to keep things, and protecting her
herself.
family.
Right.
So,
But I think at this point she saw how it was affecting Cole. You know what I mean? Like it was one of those situations where she could tell that her son was so rattled and so shaken. And I think she started to see that Cole was behaving similar to how her husband was behaving before he killed himself or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And so I think that she thought the truth will set you free kind of a thing. And you need to know the reality about our family.
Right.
So I think that was why. Did I expect it? No, I did not see any of that coming. But kudos to all the writers
Yeah.
for dropping the bombs.
Right.
Yeah.
Bombs. Bomb
Per the-
back to
per
per
the
the
use.
use. Oh shit. Per the use. So speaking of bombs, we have another one that comes up, and it was kind of like lit earlier in the episode when we find out Whitney basically and told her parents
Yes.
different information.
Yes.
And we see Noah on the phone talking with Helen, saying, "Oh, she, played
She's not
us
here, yeah.
because she's not here." And then of course she said that she was going to be, where she said she was going to be. So we find out she shows up
Wow.
at the Lockhart residence while Cole and Scotty are talking, and is like, "Oh my gosh, Scotty, I gotta talk to you. I
5
gotta talk to
minutes,
you right
5
now.
minutes,
5
5
minutes. I
minutes."
gotta talk to you right now."
Scotty is gone.
Yeah.
Audi,
Bolts.
Audi.
Had there not been, what is it, a restraining order or whatever, had that not been on the table, do you think that he would have stayed there to talk to her? So if it wasn't a risk that he could serve jail time by talking to her, do you think he would have spoken to her?
No.
Or do you think he would have
don't
reacted
think
the
so.
same way?
I think he would have reacted the exact same way. I think he just wants nothing to do with her. I don't
Right.
think he likes her. I think
See, I don't
exactly-
agree with that.
I don't either.
I think that
I know I'm crazy.
Okay. No, so I'm on your page, April. I'm with you. I think that if he wasn't in fear of serving jail time, I think he would have had
I
a
don't think
conversation
so
with
because
her.
I think they grew up like dealing drugs and hiding it. So I think he's
Right.
used to being like a bad boy, like going against the law.
No, but then he wouldn't have showed up at her abortion appointment or whatever
Right.
it was if that was the case. He would have just been like, "Good luck with that."
And I think he just doesn't want people to see or to know that
That
he
they're-
actually cares about
yeah.
her because he's like the playboy and does whatever. But I think
Right.
that he felt
You think he
differently.
actually cares about her still to this day? No,
I think
this
he
episode.
cared a lot about her. I think he does still now, but because she clearly there has to have been some sort of communication between the two of them, to me anyway, because she's not still going to come after this long of him being like, no,
Right,
no,
right, right.
no.
I don't
Okay,
know.
so we know Whitney to be a little bit crazy.
Yes.
So, and the fact that he even said when he was texting during dinner.
How'd
during
you
the
get my
prayer.
number?
You know, how'd you get my number? I didn't know that was you, type thing. So she's very sneaky and conniving in reaching him. So it didn't seem like they were talking. And
She's
I would
unsettled.
say, I would say that I would think initially, before some of these episodes that we've seen Scotty more so this season, that yes, he cares for her. Yes, he wants, you know, he would have stayed. But in the recent events, how he's been treating women, how he's been this playboy type dude, I don't think that he wants anything to do with her, whether there was a
he's trying
restraining
to
order
open
or
up a
not.
nightclub, and a nightclub
Exactly.
I feel like is very different from I want to open up a restaurant
Exactly.
or something. You know, I just feel like he's very into the move on with my life.
Right.
Let's focus on.
Yeah, I
something
still
else.
think that if the cops weren't involved, he
Mm-hmm.
would be talking to her.
Because I think, especially because we know in this show that they don't make something happen for no reason.
Correct.
Very true.
Correct.
So it's not just going to be like a fling. Oh,
Right.
this is a way to show Noah having aggression toward him. They did it for a reason.
Yeah.
So it's that's what keeps me being like, can they really? Is
Or
he
maybe
just
they're
like,
just
no,
getting
whatever.
into our heads because they always seem to do that. We're always like
I know.
looking into it and being like, this means something.
True,
Does
true,
it?
true.
Well, it's not
True.
going to go
True.
anywhere because
True.
Scott is going to be not alive.
He did.
Exactly.
From now.
Exactly. So real quickly, let's finish up its version. So Cole ended up taking her back. He says, I'm going to take you back to the city because she took the train there. Ends up taking her back over to the Noah household.
Well,
And
I was shocked that
yeah.
he actually walked her upstairs.
Yeah. Right.
Very
to
impressive.
I was
Noah's
very
house.
shocked too,
Yeah.
especially because, you know, there could have been the situation with Alison and that whole dynamic. That didn't happen, but he did talk to Noah. Noah kind of, you know, like, you want to come in for a drink? And he's like, no, I'm good. He's like, okay, thanks.
Good on you,
Good.
though.
That's
yeah,
great.
hey.
That's great. So he was trying to be cordial. You know, I think he was just more of a olive branch because
Yes,
he brought Whitney
absolutely.
over. And then he goes to see Louisa, which I was happy for.
Yes,
'cause
I was.
I'm a proponent of love. And
Aw.
I knew that he
for romance.
I,
Always
you
root
know,
for
I'm
romance.
I'm always rooting for romance. He goes over there, he apologizes. He's like, I'm sorry, you know, because of how everything went down, you know, and then I love you too. And he says it in Spanish, which is even so much more dope.
Super sexy.
All right. And then, yeah.
I just thought about this, and someone commented on it in chat. The car ride between, oh my gosh,
Whitney.
Cole and
Whitney,
Whitney.
yes.
Whenever he says to her, just because you
Love somebody
someone doesn't mean that they have to love you back.
Right.
Big
It
deal.
literally was like, hello,
Right.
knife right here, because you can just see the pain on his
Sure,
face
sure.
with Allison and
Sure.
like everything that he's gone through.
Absolutely.
And I don't think I necessarily liked his character last season, or I didn't dislike him, but this season I'm like,
We weren't exposed
baby
to enough
all
of
the
it.
way.
Right,
You know, we
right.
weren't
Yeah.
exposed to enough of his.
We see more now
Yeah.
that we get his versions
Absolutely.
in these episodes. We see a lot more. So
Yeah.
then it jumps to present day, and then we see the attorney with his assistant or whatever person-in-law. And they're looking at surveillance footage that's happening at the Lobster Roll, and it's Alison and Scotty, and they don't know the sound, and so they're like, "Oh, I wonder what
noise.
they're saying."
Yes.
And then we hear this voice. Lo and behold, it's Oscar, and he's
Counting some bills.
Right.
$1
Getting that
bill,
money.
y'all.
He's getting that paper.
Yep.
And he's like, "What do they say?" He's like, "Well, I know." And he's like, "Well, you just cost you my money." He's like, "No, it's not. You're gonna tell us.
Here's how this is gonna
This
work."
is what's gonna happen. This is how it's gonna go down."
This is why I'm a highly
Right.
paid attorney,
Right,
because
exactly.
this is how this is going to go down.
And he drops a huge bombshell and basically says, I was there, and she said, or he said, talking about Scotty, that is our baby.
Meaning it's not Scotty's baby, but it's
Right.
a
Family.
Lockhart baby.
Lockhart baby.
And based on the conversation that we had
Right.
they had with
Cherry, yes.
they, there's no more
Yes.
Lockhart babies.
Exactly.
Confirming that
Yeah.
Cole's version of events. Well, and we didn't see Allison's from the
But
same
the
day.
implication-
But the implication of Cole's version,
Them
in fact,
sleeping together.
then
Yes. And we
it
had
is
talked
true.
about that, and now it is confirmed that still 100%, but I would say 95% that they did sleep
I know,
together.
95%, right? Because there could be some
95%.
weird writer
Exactly,
loophole that we're not
exactly.
looking into.
I know.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
kind of trust Oscar.
Yeah. He's
We
dropping
trust
it.
Oscar? What
He's
is
dropping
that?
it. I
Real?
know, Oscar. So let's get into predictions. Let's do it.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Oh
All right.
gosh.
Yeah, we got the quick version. All right, so I'm gonna drop a huge bombshell, but we'll start with you, Allison. Go ahead.
April.
Did I see it again? Oh my god! And I looked right at you, and my mouth. I'm so.
I don't know why he's doing that.
I don't know why I keep. I'm so I'm so sorry, April. Okay.
That's
April.
okay. I still love you.
Okay.
It's like very funny. I don't even know. It's like, what the heck is happening over here?
So someone in chat, forgive me, I think it was Albert Patterson that said it earlier, said that they have always thought that it was Alison that ended up killing Scotty. And this got me to thinking, literally, as I read it and we're talking about this, she's now like more so on my radar. She's always been on the radar, but she's more so on there now because we see that Scotty knows this thing that Noah doesn't know. And this keeping the Lockhart in the family, like them talking about the grandfather drowning the Hodges baby because it wasn't his. Like it's also like these babies and this stuff is very important, which was heartbreaking, by the way. But I just think she's more so on my radar now. But you know what? I know you don't think Whitney did it, but Whitney is still on my radar too, because obviously they're going to keep his kids in the story because they're his children. But they are putting a bigger note on her for some reason, I think.
Maybe it's because they want us to think.
And like, well, clearly, I don't even have like I can't even say like, oh, I think she did it or he did it.
I wonder if she crashes the wedding.
Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah.
Also, who is he
it's
getting
Cole's
married
wedding.
to?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Cole's
Louise's
wedding.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
It's Cole's wedding.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna throw an even bigger loophole, or they're gonna throw something even more significant in the mix because, like, I can't think that Alison, especially, would she have been like killing him while pregnant? Is that what we're thinking? That's not happening. She's not killing a guy.
I think she had the baby. Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if she kills
don't know
him.
that.
If Alison were to kill him, if she were to kill him the same way that she dies in the book. Because I feel like the whole thing with the drowning, like the grandfather drowned the child, and then Gabriel like accidentally drowned. I don't know. It's kind of like similarities there. So maybe like the
They're
book.
similar. I have one quick one, and then we'll be done. My quick bombshell prediction is that Eden and Noah are going to sleep together.
I agree.
Yes, I think that's gonna happen.
If they do, I will hate Noah. I'm just putting it out there right
I'm
now.
just saying,
They cannot do that to us.
I'm just saying.
If
I
this
really see that.
happens-
There's enough episodes for that to happen. We know Noah's character. We know what he's capable of. Eden is around all the time now.
I don't
with
think I
his
can
book.
come back from that if it is.
I'm just
though.
saying.
I really
I am
I'm
with
just
you,
saying. I'm just
April.
saying. That's it.
To be honest, I think if that were to happen, I would still absolutely 110% continue watching.
Oh,
The
of
Affair.
course.
And I would
Yes.
be like, the show is awful.
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
going to watch
Not,
it.
but
I'd be
We're
like,
just gonna
okay,
hate Noah.
well, you saw my attention. What happens next?
Right.
I just hope that they don't do that to us.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
OMG.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in. This has been our after show for The Affair. Man, we still we have more episodes to go. I'm so excited about how everything is twisting and turning.
Wow.
Make sure that you continue to keep tuning in. Make sure you hit us on Twitter. Talk about it. Let us know your predictions, everything that's going on. I've been your host, Lem Gonsalves. You can find me all day, every day at The Poet Saint, and that's on everything. Where can they find you, Alison?
You can find me everywhere, all day, every day, at the Alison Dean.
Yes. April!
Quick shout out to our boy Joshua Jackson. He is nominated for a People's Choice Award,
Awesome.
Favorite Premium Cable TV Actor.
Woo!
Y'all can find me Twitter, Instagram, everywhere at April Whisenhant.
Kellie Knezovich.
Wrapping it up, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Kellie Knez.
Yes.
Sweet.
Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.